GM. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Fabulous. Welcome to the DAO call for the 8th of November. Oh, that was awesome to see all those games up and running and getting the final kinks ironed out. It's awesome. But let's dive into the DAO call. So, Snapshot is in full swing again. Happy days. And we have our first active snapshot, which is the DAO Foundation Director election. So this has another 7 days left and is currently sitting at, let me double check, where are we? 44% of quorum. So it looks like we've still got some quorum issues, but if anyone hasn't voted that happens to be here, you know what you need to do. Currently, we have Nestor in the lead with 79.32% of the vote, followed by both Dalbox and Nestor, and then just Dalbox. So if anyone hasn't voted or needs any more information, if you jump into the proposal, there are links to both Nestor and Dalbox's application with full details of what they have on offer, along with their remuneration. So that still has a little bit of time to go, but hopefully we can get this one through so we can finally get back on the road to compliant foundation. So the next snapshot is the SIG prop for the partial Treasury distribution. So we have one SIG prop followed by a number of polls. The polls don't have to reach quorum, but are just to iron out the individual details, and then they'll all be compiled into a final core prop by VR Dev. So at the moment, if we have a look at the first proposal, we are currently sitting at 44.1% of quorum, with the current majority, 79.7%, saying yes, let's distribute some of the Treasury. So this is a detailed proposal, and you really do need to check out the full bundle to get the full picture of how a potential partial Treasury distribution could look if it gets voted through. But yeah, the link is there. If you haven't voted, please do. And even if you are voting against this one, it would probably be wise to take a look at some of the other polls and make your vote heard there as well, just in case. But yeah, so first up, Treasury distribution, that is a simple yes or no vote. And then we have the amount to distribute. So you have three options: 1100 ETH, more than that, or less than that. Current majority vote is heading to more than that with 81.22%, but these polls have not had a whole lot of votes happening. So that was A for the distribution amount. B is how to define the long-term holder weights. So again, three options. You could have a voting percentile weighted VP. So taking into account your votes on Snapshot. You could have time in the ecosystem weighted VP. How long have you been a holder? And then the average of A and B. So currently the voting percentile is leading the way with 84%. Now for C, how to make sure we distribute only to DAO members. So this is to ensure we don't end up sending anything to entities like Binance and things like that. So your options there: a wallet that has voted on any agip on Snapshot, a wallet that owns at least one Gotchi, and a wallet that has interacted with the Polygon or Base Aavegotchi diamond. So Currently, the winner for that one is voting on Snapshot with, again, 81% of the vote. D is how to make sure we don't distribute to lost wallets. So we have 4 options on this one. We've got just to ensure we're not sending this to obviously lost wallets, unaccessible wallets, anything of that nature. And you've got, again, a transaction on the base diamond before this agate ends, voted in the past 6 months, any transaction in the past 6 months. So that does include anyone that bought or sold on the bazaar. And D, send it everywhere, distribute it to lost wallets too. So currently, voting in the last 6 months is leading the way. And then the final poll is E, the claiming period. This is again to make sure lost and idle wallets are not rewarded, and also to make sure it's for active users. So we've got 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, or indefinitely as the window to claim any potential partial treasury distribution. And 3 months is currently leading the way, again, 78%. So there is a lot on Snapshot. Kind of hard to summarize all of these. I mean, the props are fairly detailed, so you can find nearly everything you would need there. If you want more, the thread is there. I have the links in the agenda. And you have 11 days left to put in your votes if you haven't already. So, like I said, first one, the distribution is the one that has to reach quorum. The rest of them are just polls, and the majority wins on those. Be compiled into the final core prop if we make it there. So, if anyone has anything they want to say about this, now is a great time. There's been plenty of discussion in the forum, and if anyone's missed that, you kind of want to get in there and see what's what. And other than that, I think we can jump into discussions. Any takers? No.
We've got VR Dev on stage, so I assume DVR's got something to say.
Where are we? There
Hey
we
guys,
go.
can you hear me?
Welcome. Yes, we can.
Yeah. I said most of it last week, so I don't have much to add. But yeah, I was just raising my hand in case there are any questions or discussions. You know, I'm not here to give another speech or anything.
That is fair. There has been plenty of active discussions, so I think most of us here would have taken a peek at that already. So I'll just give it a minute to see if anything pops into the chat. Got 2 typing.
For me, as I was reading through the props, it's I think it would be useful if someone could put together like some sort of dashboard or something to kind of show what everyone's allocations will be for the various methods. I think that would make it feel a little bit more tangible if you're trying to, sway some voting power towards it. Right now, it's like no one really knows what the allocations to everyone will be.
It would be nice to see some simulations or something, because not only do we have the effect of the weighted VP, but you've also got the actual amount that's still up for discussion. So there are definitely multiple options of to what the distribution amount would actually look like. So that's definitely a nice idea.
I mean, it's not like if you know what you're querying, it's a couple primps away really to make a dashboard. Go to V0 or Replit or any of the various dashboard creating vibe code softwares now can probably do something. I'm kind of surprised no one has done that yet, honestly.
You did something similar for a different post a few weeks ago, right? And
yeah, a while back. It took me about 2 hours to do that, and I think it was very useful for people to get a sense of what their allocation would be with that specific method. So I think it's, if someone is, if people are actually serious about this prop, the days of like having to spend a lot of time compiling data and creating the dashboard are kind of beyond us. I think it's not that hard to make a dashboard these days.
That's true. Times are changing. Well, yeah, that is a good question. By August, what will distribution of the Treasury do to the price of Ghost? That is definitely a current unknown, and
what do you think it will do to the price of Ghost? I mean, it's kind of, everyone has their own opinion probably on what it will do, but at the end of the day, everyone. I mean, I'm asking Foreign or Augie or anyone. What do you? No one really knows for sure. It's hard to say.
It is hard to say. I definitely am not qualified to make any sort of realistic or worthwhile suggestion on that. But I mean, what I'm more worried about is what effect it would have on the DAO and sentiment. And personally, I shudder to think what that would look like. I find it hard to see the DAO truly surviving a partial treasury distribution. So I don't know. Personally, this is definitely is not something I am going to be voting yes for.
Maybe VR Dev, could you maybe offer a little bit of clarity about the amount? Because ignoring the typo in the post, there's the more option, there's 1100 ETH, and there's less option. What does that actually mean? What do you mean by like we're distributing significantly more value than 1100 ETH?
Yeah, that's a good question. I kept it vague on purpose because I think that there are that the opinions are split and probably split very far. Oh wait, someone said they cannot hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, I'll just keep going then. So I think last week Maxi said that for ongoing things like distributions and past AGIPs, they need about 50 ETH. So we can't just like take all the ETH, and then a lot of the treasury is basically just liquidity positions for Ghost. So I do not presume to know how big of an impact it would have if we reduce those, but personally, I would not want to do that. I'm a bit surprised by the amount of people who voted more, and it does scare me a little bit what they think it means. Because it could mean like 100 ETH more, or it could mean the entire treasury. So yeah, I was thinking that we wait until the polls close, and then we have a discussion about what makes sense, because I'm not going to put up a proposal in AGIB that would seriously put the DAO at risk, or the value of Ghost at risk. That's not the intention here.
Or even after these polls close, I mean, there's still going to be discussion that needs to be had to finalize the final details. So, I mean, this is not going to be over in 11 days and moving to core prop. There will be obviously discussions following this. So, I mean, in that sense, it's, oh, I hate to say it, but it feels like it's dragging on. But that's just my personal take. But like you said, I'm also a little concerned about how many people voted for more, because I do feel that there are some that do just want to call it a day and just distribute everything that they can. So yeah, that's why I'm nervous about these props. I really, I mean, ever since this discussion started, and I mean, instead of celebrating not getting taken over by Bob and Co., we moved straight into this distribution, and it just feels like it's been a real community sentiment killer, and a motivational killer snapshot. I mean, I know we were migrating, so that didn't help Snapshot's activity, but yeah, I just really feel like it hasn't been the most positive discussion for the community. And I do want it to end and just continue on, getting back on track and actually fixing the mistakes that we have made in the past as a DAO, because I agree, it is crazy to do the same thing and expect a different result. But what we haven't tried is actually running the DAO, I don't know how you'd put it, like a business, or, taking it truly seriously. It's been a very community affair so far, and we haven't taken that next step to truly mature. We managed to get a mission statement, but we didn't take it anywhere past that. And that is what I think we should be focusing on, getting all that, boring, tedious, administrative governance type stuff ironed out, getting the structure of our DAO locked in. Yes, paying certain positions to do things, because you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. So we, no offense to the Ledger monkeys, I think we need to really, iron out the structure of our DAO, the structure of our foundation, which definitely needs an overhaul, because the Constitution is not matching the reality of our situation thanks to past issues. And it's, that's where I wish our forums were focusing on and working through. So first, though, it looks like we're going to have to get through this and hopefully reach quorum on the foundation director election, so that we truly can at least get us to the minimum level of compliance again.
Yeah, that's right. I actually wanted to say something about that. Since I see No Future is still here, and he's one of the persons mainly affected by this. I don't know if you have used your reach to put it out there, because yeah, we need Chrome to replace you.
I have not. I've largely stepped away from the process. I'm continuing to sign. I'm not going to vote because most of my voting power is on Polygon anyway. And I stopped voting a long time ago, just as a conflict of interest thing. So to be honest, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It's like another task. I haven't promoted it. I haven't said anything about it really. Same thing with the Treasury distribution, because I don't really have an opinion on it. People some people have very legitimate feelings about all these things, and they're expressing them. And via voting, they can express those opinions. I'm not gonna step in the way of that. Now, if you're asking me, like, should I, like, has the main Gotchi account put out a post regarding the director election at all?
That's also a good suggestion.
Because if I see that, then yes, I can amplify it. I can put out a post about it, but I'm not really trying to air out, that stuff on that level. Like, hey, I want to exit out of this DAO, because I don't want to signal doubt, because I don't doubt the DAO. I think we can do things a lot better. But I also see the side where people think that money's being wasted. So if all the money's gone, I'm still going to be here doing the DAO thing, because I like the games. Me and my son are having fun. And I've accepted what I do in this community and why I like being here. So for me, I don't really care about the money. Like, people think that that's the core thing here, but there's, for me, I have other allegiances here. This is why I still rock a Gotchi PFP. Like, so whatever happens, happens. But in terms of the election, if I don't want to be out there spreading and talking like in post about this potential. I've talked about it on live streams out of frustration, like especially after I was called a grifter, but I tend not to broadcast it because that shows like a level of weakness in this DAO that I don't want broadcast.
Okay, that makes sense.
Other than what we do in these meetings, which everybody can see.
We have PC here, so would you guys be willing to like put it on your main account, the election?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't typically done like, this is kind of an internal DAO thing. We haven't typically done posts for SIG props like this, but are you worried that it's not going to meet quorums, that you think that'll help raise some votes?
Yeah, so usually, at least from what I remember, it's that towards the end, the amount of votes that the proposals get is less and less, except for maybe like in the last day if it's like really close. And I think we are now like at halftime, and we are not even at 50% quorum yet. So I am getting a bit worried that the election is not going to pass.
Yeah. Yeah, we can amplify it.
It's definitely something all of us can amplify as well. We can post that election onto Twitter and anywhere else we are online. Just get the word out to our networks. So yeah, fingers crossed that the we do hit quorum on that one. I mean, if not, I assume it'll be reposted. Maybe with a shorter time the second time around if it gets to that. I don't know. We'll see how we go. See how liquidity is moving around so that the VP ends up on base and isn't left on Polygon. But it's also an idea of potentially, I guess, of some of our AFK members, what is not moving. But yeah. So if anyone else has anything more they want to ask while we have... Yeah, Fico's commenting there on, tragically, Snapshot has bumped the election down to the see more section because of all the polls. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I guess just more reason to share it directly.
I had forgotten about it until we were talking about it because it's not on the front page anymore.
Well, I've never seen a page on Snapshot. I just scroll and it keeps loading.
Yeah, this is because how to explain. Snapshot was asking for, I think it was $6,000. Was it a month or annual? I forget how much it was for a custom domain. And we talked about that with the DAO one time, and no one was interested. So currently we're using the V2 version of Snapshot, which I guess doesn't have like the long scroller. Yeah, it's really bad UX, honestly.
Yeah, you can only see up to Alt D
I see
if
it
you
there
just
through
go
the
straight
screenshot
in.
before.
So yeah, I guess we just need to do our bit and get it publicized. We want our foundation to stay on board and get this one over the line. So, well, I'm not seeing anything more specific here. So I think, I mean, it's highly related. We can jump into the first discussion, which is Coder Dan's Stake It and Chill proposal. So this is an alternative to the Treasury distribution that potentially might satisfy some members as to making sure the DAO is a little bit more careful with future spending and proposal requests. So yeah, I'll leave it to you, Coder Dan, to give us a rundown.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of discussion around security of the DAO's funds. That seems to be one of the main drivers of this idea of the Treasury distribution. And so I just wanted to offer another option, which I believe is an alternative to the Treasury distribution, which instead of just distributing all the funds, if the main concern is that future funding proposals or potential OTC deals can kind of become an attack vector for the DAO's treasury, then an alternative to splitting up and distributing the funds is, well, what if we actually just staked them and made them productive capital and actually had revenue for the DAO coming in from those funds? Foreign, you were alluding to this idea of kind of further trying to operationalize the DAO and actually treating it more as a company. This is something that you could argue could be a step forward for the DAO, reducing the attack vector by not having as much capital just sitting around waiting for a DAO prop to ask for it, while also generating a modest budget that could be put towards various initiatives that the DAO wants to fund. And those could be via props. So it could be marketing, it could be legal, it could be basically a small budget, modest budget, 200 to 300K annually, without having to dip into any of the actual working capital that the DAO has, because it's being staked. Now there are some downsides. I'm first to admit that. We would lose the upside of holding ETH, which historically, I mean, this cycle, ETH has tragically underperformed, as have many of the ETH alts. And so, we could be, maybe we're locking in the top, right? If we were to sell it today, maybe we're not. It's really, no one knows. Very hard to say that. So one strategy, if people wanted to minimize the potential of missing out on gains, you could dollar cost average the selling and just sell 50 ETH per week or something, and then slowly build up the USD that way, or you could sell it all at once. Either way, I mean, really, that's not the how we get the USDC or the Go is not as important as the fact that after it's locked up, it has a locked period and it can't be moved from that staking unless I allude to a couple conditions, like let's say there was a security incident with the stablecoin that we were staking, or let's say that the DAO finally was able to move to on-chain governance, at which point we would need to move it into a fully maybe immutable contract, so that it wouldn't be potentially overridden by the on-chain governance, and someone could just kind of move it because it's not actually staked. There's a couple caveats to that. But I think a strongly worded prop, very unambiguously worded prop that says these funds cannot be moved by a future prop unless they meet these certain conditions I think that would be strong enough. And as I went in a conversation I was having in that discussion, I think VRDev was saying we should lock it up in an actual immutable contract, which I think is I don't think that even I would be for that option, because it's quite scary with the even with smart contracts. Most people are not doing fully immutable contracts these days. So at the end of the day, you're going to have some form of admin privilege probably. And so it's really not that much different having the funds in a contract with admin privileges versus just having them held in the multi-sig by the 9 signers and having a very unambiguously worded prop that says this prop cannot be overridden in the future by another core prop except under the following circumstances.
Yeah.
So that's
Definitely.
the gist of it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm definitely more in favor of this idea than the distribution, but I'm definitely not a favor of locking it up. I feel like that is, it just adds a lot of risk and complication. We just don't know what's going to be happening, how fast we need to move, what the potential issues might be that come up. And I mean, as far as locking it in by vote, what the conditions are for unstaking or moving or touching it, I get it where VRDev is coming from in saying that just one proper way from being overturned or whatever we say. But at the same time, I guess it comes down to how much do we trust the people we voted in as our treasurer and ledger monkeys, because they are our stopgap for something like that. If we have faith in them to actually honor such a agip and core prop that passed, that's kind of what it is. We either trust them or we don't. I personally would trust them to not overturn that over some other reason. But yeah, I mean, that's something we need to talk through along with the other details, such as the basics. What are we staking? Is it going to be a stable? Is it going to be Go? Is it something else? Where to stake it, all in one lump or split it into 2 just for a bit of extra security? What are the conditions for being able to touch it? How long to lock it, if at all? There's a lot to this, but I do really like the idea of having a yearly operational budget. And I think that, in a way, would help us focus as a DAO. But I also think without a proper DAO structure, that would hamper us truly focusing. Because if we had a full on structure, that would come with the benefits of actually working out where are we going as a DAO? What do we as a DAO want to fund and make? And how much do we want to spend on things like that? And how can we assess future proposals to see, are they actually worth voting yes for or not? Are they good value for money? So it's complicated, as we always are, but I would definitely be leaning towards this one more, and I'm hoping we get some good discussion on it, because there are definitely a lot of options with it. So, I mean, if anyone has any questions that they want to float now, I'll just have a look now again.
Yeah, one thing comes to mind. So in the thread, it says that it would be for 1 or 2 years, and then we would vote on it again. And to me, that sounds a little bit like, what's the phrase, kicking a can down the road or something. Like, let's say we do a year, and then let's also say, just as a hypothetical, that we'll enter a bear market soon. Now, someone could accumulate over this year, like in DAOs, maybe like with multiple wallets, and then just decide to not renew that. And then we've got rid of the problem for 1 year, just to make it easier to execute in the next year.
Yeah, it's a valid concern. I mean, I offered 2 years as like a sensible default, but it could be longer. At the end of the day, if you have a treasury and you have a governance token, there's always going to be some risk of some form of attack if the funds are not locked up. Yeah, or so this was just one way to do that. I'm curious if anyone has any other ideas besides locking and staking to that doesn't involve a DAO treasury distribution to everyone. Actually keeping the treasury that is an alternative to this, because it was kind of the best idea I could come up with. And I think it does make sense from a lot of perspectives to have revenue for the DAO, kind of guaranteed revenue. And then whatever any game makes on top of that is extra. But at least at the end of the day, you have something you can rely on that's not going to eat into your actual principal. So everything that the DAO is spending money on comes out of that modest budget, that 200 to 300K, whatever it ends up being.
I would be in favor of selling less of the ETH to have a shorter or smaller budget. Like even if it was only 150K a year, if we are being lean and responsible, that should be more than enough for our operations and to reward pools and everything. But then we still have some upside with ETH. So it doesn't have to be exactly half or whatever, but just to keep some ETH exposure for us. Or we do a mix of treasury distribution with this plan to stake what's left over.
I mean, if you say you distributed like 900 ETH and you left 200, the numbers just don't work out to actually have a reliable budget for really anything. If we're earning 6, 7, 8% of 500K, that's really not a lot to do much with as a DAO. I don't even think that would pay for like DAObox, for example. If not saying we are going to go with them, but if we were, this operating budget would cover something like DAObox without the DAO having to reach into any principal. Yeah, Nestor is going to come in significantly cheaper than DAObox, so that's an upside. But yeah, there could be marketing, there could be things like Gotchi greeters could be kind of made sustainable, so it's not actually eating the principle of the DAO, but it's something that we can continue keeping going because it has led to a lot of really cool IRL activations and meeting other people, which I think is valuable in the long term.
Yeah. I mean, it would definitely be nice to have an operational budget, but that's what that amount actually needs to be. We haven't got a final figure yet until we iron out a few things like who gets voted in for the foundation and where we take it from there. But as far as locking it, I think the locking part, I mean, I know a lot of people wouldn't be too, well, some people are not too optimistic at the moment, but, technically at any moment, someone could come up with a great idea or game or something that is looking for funding. So I would hate to not be able to go through with something on a potentially larger scale just because we decided to lock for 1 or 2 years. It's pretty hard to time.
I think I think the community at this point is not planning to like fund large scale games anymore. I think that's been pretty clear. So I don't see that as like happening again. I think if there are any things that it gets funded, it'll probably be like low cost, potentially high impact projects, or kind of little mini moonshots, if you will. that are probably
for sure.
under 5K or something. Kind of what we wanted to do with the grants program.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Definitely feels like where the majority of the sentiment is. But yeah, I'm not going to lie, I'm a dreamer. And I just always would like to keep that option open because you just never know. But, you know, it's just that good old saying, you got to spend money to make money. And yes, we have spent money in not great places at different points in the DAO. And everyone has had their part to play in those decisions and ideas and all that. So I just feel like we do want to keep our option open, even if it is unlikely. But we do need to, as a DAO, work out where do we actually want to go. We have a treasury. What is it there for? It's not there just to sit there. It's not there just to grow indefinitely. So what do we actually want to do with it to grow Aavegotchi? And
my perspective on that as a DAO member is we should try to fund things that will increase the treasury. Like it's kind of the lifeblood of the DAO. If a DAO doesn't have a treasury, what are you really governing at that point?
Just to jump in, I'm listening. I think what I like most about the stake and chill option is it seems like everyone wants to make some kind of change from the status quo. We all agree about that. There's the financial side, then there's like the morale and the community itself side. For this financial side, I think what Stake and Chill does so well is it doesn't try to answer that question. It just it addresses the main concern that Dan identified, which is that there's concern that the budgets are drying up and the funding is going to be misspent, the remaining funds. But this puts a cap on that where you can only spend the yield, right? And that's pretty powerful in and of itself. It gives us time to be time in the market, continue to be present, continue to fund things at whatever scale the DAO decides is comfortable. We can all guess what those would be in the future, but truth is none of us know. But that's the stake and chill. That's the part that I think is worth considering. The fact that it simply puts a cap on spending and puts the kind of budgets in order for till future notice. So generally, I'm kind of open to it.
Yeah, I agree. It does it clears up like the attack vector idea and the keep us lean idea. It does cover those more pressing issues and gives us time to work out the rest. So on that side, I'm definitely in favor of this idea. And I really do hope we get some good discussion to get it onto Snapshot in whatever form it ends up. But yeah, there's a lot to go through. There's a lot of options on how it can be done. So pros and cons for each way. And the more feedback and attention we get on that, the better for all of us and the future of the DAO. I'm just double checking the chat to see if any actual questions are there. I mean, obviously, we need to have a budget to fund, like Siba said, the greeters. I think I'd agree with that. The greeters has been our best investment and has done the most for community building and getting us out there all over the world. So that's definitely something we need to budget for. Though I think we are in their final funding terms, so that will be coming up in a few months, isn't it, Nofu?
Yes, I believe so. But we also we pared back during the summer. We didn't do a lot of events because things were, we were waiting for the base migration. So I think we do have rollover budget. We are doing these 2 last events, so I don't want to misspeak. And Mr. Seb would know better. But I definitely think we still have budget.
Yeah. We'll have a nice presence at DevCon. We got some members from Pixelcraft. We got Zbot. One of our Solidity devs, Timidon, is flying in from Africa. Actually, it's going to be pretty lit. You guys will get to meet up, Zbot. That's going to be awesome. And then we got Nadil going. We got Mr. Seb, and they're all going to have our games on their phone. DeFi Dungeon's already working on the phone, so they're going to be able to show that to people. And I think we'll turn some heads. Maybe we can get. They're also going to be. Ziba, I don't know if you guys have followed up yet, but I sent a link to actually chat with some of the guys from the Ethereum Foundation, like their new what's his name? Aavegotchi, I think is his name. Let me check. He seems like Giga Chad. He is like connecting founders and just builders with mentors from the Ethereum Foundation. So I hope you guys have all reached out to him. I think I sent you the link, Mr. Seb, as well. So yeah, maybe we'll get some FaceTime with some big wigs in Ethereum Foundation. They've talked about turning around a ship. I mean, they've really, price-wise, we haven't really seen that happening yet. We did have a little bump, but I mean, I think Ethereum generally, the vibes are better after the Ethereum Foundation kind of pivot, where they kicked out some of the leadership and returned to kind of the roots, which is in a way what we're also kind of doing here. So I think if the Ethereum Foundation can get their ship in order, then I think we also have a strong chance of having a nice turnaround as well. But yeah, we should get some FaceTime with them. So hopefully you guys are on that. And yeah, they'll be running around with phones, showing off our games. We'll have Guardian. We might have a Guardians build, honestly, at that point on mobile. Can't promise, but it is in the works. A little bit alpha there. And yeah, we got Zonzi's filters that he's been working on. That should be really fun to watch. He's been cooking on those. I don't know if you're going to talk about that in this call, but he's been doing some amazing work with that. So IRL stuff is powerful, and we don't have a large budget. We don't need a large budget for greeters, but just having like a small, modest budget carved out for it is really powerful, and that doesn't have to eat into the DAO's principle. Hey, Zonzo.
Hey.
Welcome, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me up here. How's it going, everybody? I'm a little sleepy this morning. I was out late celebrating my birthday with my dad.
Happy birthday, man. Today's actually my birthday, so
mine's
Scorpios.
Mine's actually on November 12th, and it looks like Base has some contest going on where, like, with the new Jesse AI bot, where 3 people, like, the AI is gonna pick 3 people to talk to Jesse. So I'm thinking I might get to speak with Jesse as a birthday present. That would be kind of cool. Cool. Yeah, we got 2 Base Jessies now. That's kind of cool. Just so everyone knows, I was like talking about the Jesse Polak there. And so I guess I'll just like kick things off by giving a quick update on Gamble, just so people know I'm still working on that. I guess I made a price prediction smart contract game that would like work with Ghost. So it's similar to Lotto, but instead of like using randomness to decide winners, it's like who guesses closest to the price at this time, and like there's be like a window that closes, so you can't like guess like 2 minutes before. You'd have to guess like 24 hours in advance. So that was like the kind of like guess the amount of candy in the jar game I was talking about, and that looks kind of fun on testnet right now. And so yeah, I don't know, I need to get those contracts kind of like peer reviewed so I can feel confident about putting them on mainnet, because I would hate to be responsible for someone's loss of funds. And then, I'm working on a poker game too. And so when Dan started working on DeFi Dungeons and told me about Phaser and Calisius, I switched over to that. So I'm doing like a lot of experimenting on that, and I hope to have a MVP soon. But yeah, right now I've been working with the sprite sheets a lot. So yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to talk about today, is like Aavegotchi mini games and like how we can like leverage the sprite sheets to like get more playable games where people can drop in with their own Aavegotchis. Like we used to have a lot of mini games you could play with your gotchi. So I was thinking it would be cool to have like a community-led effort to like put together like Aavegotchi mini games. Maybe they could have their like own section on the like Aavegotchi DApp eventually, or like be like an Aavegotchi arcade or something. I don't know how it could work. I've been experimenting with a lot. So I found a way to get them to display on OpenSea. So you could like, it's basically like you just got to get it all into one HTML file so that you can use it as like the animation URL metadata. And then Zbot told me I could like base64 encode it and like put it completely on chain. So I found a way to do that thanks to Zbot. And yeah, so that was really cool. Like, I guess I got to find a link for that real quick just so you guys could check it out. I post way too much on Twitter lately. Here it is. So yeah, and then I'll post another link too. So I don't know if I've talked about this yet on a DAO call, but I made this like cool little site with the package that Pixelcraft made with the spreadsheets, so that like, you know, I don't know, not everyone's like a developer, so it might be confusing how to like generate your spreadsheets. So I made a nice little front end to make it easy for everybody. So you can connect your wallet and like hit view my gotchis, and then it'll like call like all my gotchis on the diamond and get that data and use it to like generate all the sprites. I think it like prioritizes the I want to say it's called the melee gun body or something right now. So I got to like optimize my script to like use the right body. Can everyone hear me still right now, by the way?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, my screen looked like frozen or something. Yeah, so I gotta like optimize my script to make sure it's using like the right body for the wearables, I think is how it works. I don't know. I'm talking with Zbot and like Dan about it, but yeah, so and then I have it set up so like if you don't know how to do like blockchain stuff, like there's like all the sprites you generate are saved in like a Supabase bucket, and I set up like a thing with my like website, so you can go to like a link like this, and then you can see it right here. And yeah, and yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm talking about a lot of things. Maybe I'll like pause for a second.
You've been cooking, bro. Yeah, really cool job with the API. I ended up setting my own API up for Dungeons, but this is cool to have this little API anyone can use. And we're also there's some issues with the sprites. We haven't gotten all of the layers yet from sprite guys. They're being slow, but we'll get those done.
Yeah, there's I think there's only like 20. It's mostly done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then yeah, so I added a little game section. So this is like kind of early. The one I'm working on right now is actually a 2-player side scroller game. So like 2 players on 1 controller. Someone's gonna make a funny joke there. Anyway, so it's like 2 players, 1 controller, 1 player's on the WASD and like WASD, and 1 player's on arrow keys, and it's kind of like Super Smash. And so I was thinking about making that as like a 1-on-1 collectible NFT. And that leads me into like my next thing is like, I don't know if anyone wants to like, I'm like working on documentation for how to do this. I'll add stuff about how to put it on chain. If anyone wants to like collaborate with me, I'm not an artist. I just want to write code. I don't want to like, I just want to code right now. I don't want to do art. If you know what I mean. So like, it would be great if I had like someone who's like, I don't know, anyone from the community, or if like you're a coder and you just want to like know what the hell I'm doing and how it works, like happy to share. Yeah, I don't really like have like a prop or anything. I just wanted to like talk about this and share what I'm doing. So, and see if anybody's interested and thinks it's cool. Yeah.
Well, I think we definitely could get the art covered from the community. That is definitely something we are strong in, with the artists to join forces. I did have a look and had a little play with the snake game earlier. I'm a big fan of the mini games. I think
I recommend Tower. It's based off Doodle Jump. I think that one's more fun.
Yeah, that's fair. I haven't tried that one yet. I will dive into that one later today.
Yeah, I actually have you can play them on OpenSea right now too. There's like I made a test collection. Yeah, and then the ones on OpenSea are I have like off-chain ones where it just like points to like an API thing on my site, and then I'm working on on-chain ones, and I don't know if anyone thinks this is cool. I'd be down to like make like a whole Aavegotchi arcade like collection with like 101 NFTs as collectibles that anyone can play. Yeah. And then I don't know. So that's that. I guess I should. I don't want to take up too much time. Should I switch to AR stuff?
Real quickly, Zanti, hit up Twan. I'm tagging him here. Twan vibe codes games, and he does a lot of stuff. And I've encouraged him to do like Aavegotchi theme games. So
okay, yeah, I will. To be honest, I block like every single DGOD or Ute I see because I just don't like them on my X timeline. So
he was gifted it.
I might have a block, but I will hit him up.
Yeah, he was gifted it, so he's a good guy.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, yeah, and then so I guess I'll move on AR filters because it looks like we got like 5 minutes here. So basically I wrote a script earlier this week that exports like the Aavegotchis from Unity with their animations baked in. So I don't know, some people might remember like I previously opened a DAO discussion about building an Aavegotchi game with my friend who's like a AAA developer in Unreal Engine, but like we hit a major hurdle with that because we couldn't figure out how to get like the assets with the animations baked into Unreal Engine, so we just like gave up on it. And then but I've been playing around with Unity a lot lately. I got like a Unity MCP. It's super it's overpowered. But yeah, so I figured out a way to like export all the assets with the animations baked in. So the easy, like I think like a really low hanging fruit for us as a DAO would be the AR filters. They're pretty like easy to make. We already have everything set up with like the assets. Like all we have to do is just rig up like the filters in like Snapchat and TikTok. And like I did this for Polygon with Polygon sunglasses. I could probably find a link for it. And then here, let me just see. I have like a chart. So there's really good KPI tracking on these. So like we have like a pretty good presence on X, but we don't have I don't know if we have a presence on TikTok or Snapchat. I don't really use TikTok, but like I think like this is like a really good way for us to gain presence on there. So Instagram used to have AR filters too, but they stopped supporting that. So Facebook and Instagram are off the table, but Snapchat and TikTok, like here's an example from a Polygon sunglasses filter I did. It got like 500,000 usages, and like you don't know if like the people using it are like people with like tons of followers and like posting it on their story, if they're just sending it in group chats. But like it's like a one and done thing. Like once the filters are up, like they're there forever unless you like delete them. But like I think it would be cool if we set up like an official Aavegotchi account for like maybe Snapchat and TikTok, just so like, you know, and then when people, if we start posting stuff about Gotchi Guardians and other like Aavegotchi things on TikTok, whenever people go on our profile, they would see the filters there and be able to just like quickly like start posting content with Gotchis. Like it's like the easiest way to make like user generated content. And like I know a lot of, it's really similar to the GIFs, and I know a lot of people don't like the GIFs, but I think the GIFs are cool because you have like all these tags on them. So like whenever I post like an Aavegotchi GIF anywhere, like it's like ranking Aavegotchi on like their algorithm or like on search engines and stuff. Like I think this is like a really good way to like increase our presence across like social media platforms and increase mind share. And like so I don't know the best way to go about it. If people want like me to do like custom filters for them, or if like maybe Dan and Jesse want to like work something out with me, or if maybe we want to set up like an Aavegotchi DAO profile, and maybe like, because I know Flame has been talking a lot about how we need to do marketing efforts. And so I was thinking, like, I know this isn't like a marketing campaign or a marketing agency, but it's a pretty low hanging fruit. It'd be like low cost and like high impact. So I don't know the best way to go about it, but it's something I'd like to do essentially.
Very cool.
Since
So,
this
like,
is also recorded,
yeah.
can you maybe put some of your videos here in chat so people can see it then in the recording? Because
Yeah.
I think they are really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did post. I have to like switch to my phone because they're saved on my phone, but I did post one. I'm just trying to scroll up and find it if someone wants to. I think I'm almost there. Yeah, here it is. So there is an example of like what it could look like in the chat right here. I would have to publish it, and it takes like 24 hours for the approval process. But if you guys want, like, I could publish like a couple demo ones and like let you see what they could look like in action. But yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh, I'm a
I
big
just wanted to show
fan
you a little
of
preview quick of
ARs.
what like a
Yeah. Oh, and something I should add is that if like anybody wants like their Aavegotchi, like since I have that script, like I can export it for you with your animations baked in if you want to use it for like a 3JS website or whatever you might want to do. Like for your like portfolio or something.
That's super powerful. Just like the sprite sheets have been a huge unlock. I mean, the SDK is also open source. What you've done with it,
like,
it's pretty epic.
Sorry, I don't want to talk over you. Go ahead, Dan.
No, that's cool.
I don't know. I think I said pretty much everything I wanted to say. So I don't know if anyone has anything like they want to ask me or wants to express interest in like collaborating with me. I like Goobs. Goobs has been a massive help to me. I have so much respect for Goobs, so I just want to like give him a shout out.
MVP, Pixelcraft MVP,
and yeah, it'd be great to get like more people collabing with us. Pixel Sensei, I love you, man. If you're out there listening, yeah, I see you. Perfect. Lots of good people collaborating with me, helping me push out stuff for Aavegotchi. So yeah, it's great. Great to see.
Yeah, I think if you could maybe open up a couple threads in the forum, one for the mini games and one for the filters, I think we could focus the discussions and get it going, because I think these are great.
Yeah, there doesn't necessarily need to be a prop or like a funding request, because I know that's like pretty frowned upon right now. But like, it'd be nice to have more people to work with and like reignite that like whole circle of wind vibe we had going and start building as a DAO again. I feel like a lot of times we give like PC a lot of flack, but like I see like a lot of issues on our front that are more concerning sometimes to me from my angle. But yeah, I'll definitely start those discussions. And one thing I just remembered, thank God, I remember before this call ends, I wanted to ask about the ATF and the possibility of getting like a small grant to like just pay for like developer stuff on my end. And I talked about, like, I know like a lot of the funding stuff is like for tournaments, so I was thinking like we could do a hackathon for the arcade games, but they're saying like a hackathon should be for a game, not game development. So I don't know, it'd be cool to get like any kind of funding that like helps with like my costs, because like I've just been like working for free for like myself, trying to like build like founder mode type thing, I guess. I don't know, it's kind of stressful at times trying to make things work.
I think the ATF can give you up to like 1,000 for your development.
Yeah, that would be a huge help.
If I'm not mistaken, PG posted a link to a template, and he tagged you in the ATF main chat. So if you could just fill that out, and then we'll process it.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Yeah, I'll get right on that. I'm moving to a new spot today, so lots going on, busy weekend. So, but yeah, I'll get around to it as soon as I can. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of AR filters, and I know there's a lot of us that have been itching to get our hands on them for a while now. So I agree, it definitely sounds like some low-hanging fruit that we could have fun with and potentially use to get more eyes on the DAO. I can't speak to TikTok in any way, shape, or form. I'm too old for that, and it's never going to be my thing. But I definitely have a lot of fun with AR filters when I'm working. So I'm a big fan of just that concept in general. And I know there's a chance I might be more interested in making videos if I could hide behind a filter, because there's just definitely no doubt, as a female, I'm not putting my face out there for 100 reasons. So yeah, but AR filters are always fun. And we do already have most of the groundwork laid out. And also those sprites, I love them as well. I had fun having a look at all my gotchis with them. So they are definitely a resource that would be nice to tap into. And mini games, again, I feel like are low-hanging fruit, whether there's a hackathon for a full game or a more focused one for a specific game, I think there's definitely probably something we could work around. And it would be, I imagine, a fairly small funding request in the grand scheme of things. So maybe we could get it through the DAO. There's a lot of us here that do want to keep building. So
absolutely, yeah. I got a couple friends reaching out to me right now via DMs, actually. So that's great to see. So Goobs, if you're still here, I think maybe we could like spin up a section in the Gotchi Mafia Discord and get like a co-work space going.
Maybe you could do like work like commissions or something. Like if someone wants specific things, you could charge like 100 USD.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm up here. I'm looking to make some extra spending money. You guys want Gotchi filters? Let me make you a custom one. I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
That's my sales pitch. I need money, and I'd love to work for you and make you cool things. Whatever you want. If I can do it. I do SvelteKit websites too, and like I can do it with like wallet connectivity, and like maybe you're like working on a cool art project. You need a dev to build you a minting dev. I could do that. Like I'm like a freelancer, free agent right now. So like
Dongy's locked in right now, guys. Let's get him, put him to work.
it's good to me.
I'm gonna have to jump, friend. It's past midnight for me. It's been a long day, but good call. And I'll probably get the Stake and Chill prop. I would like any more feedback on various things, but I do plan to put that out probably next week. So here it is again. If you want to take a look, put your 2 cents in, Tugway.
Yes, please. The more thoughts and ideas, the better. Let's get this one kind of fleshed out and see what our options are. And following that, I think we just have one last thing from Nofu with the art competition for Art Basel. If you want to give another plug.
Yeah. If you want to sign up, just go into the either Gotchi Gang chat or the Fake Gotchis chat and just like drop something there saying you're interested. We're going to take a look at the pieces. Right now, it's just Nadil, so it's a wide open competition. And we'll do an emoji vote next week during the DAO. So thank you so much, Foreign, and have a good day, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for coming and speaking and joining us here today. And we'll see you all next week. Ciao, guys.
Thanks a lot, friends. This was a lot of fun. I hope you all have a great weekend. Cheers.